Today I'm having a look at this Marvel Legends. It's a Marvel Studios figure, and this is from the Spider-Man No Way Home movie. This is the Deluxe Green Goblin, and I think it's going to be a pretty nice figure. You could check out Norman Osborn. Looks pretty crazy on the front. Some people don't like this picture on the front, but I think it's okay. It looks like a render. And of course, this is in your old plastic-free packaging. So here's one side with Norman. Yep. And here's the bottom of the barcode, if that helps anybody. And the other side. Yep. And the back. Yep, shows everything he comes with. Pretty nice. Got the goblin mask, a separate hood, one pumpkin bomb, the glider, and the stand. All right, well, let's get this open and check it out. See how good this guy is. Right out of the package, it comes packaged in this little clam tray, and everything that's in there is nicely packaged inside it. Not bad. So let's get this stuff out and check it out real quick. We'll check out the accessories pretty much first, and then go into the figure. Well, here's Norman right out of the package, and he looks good. Pretty good for a Marvel Legends. But before we get into him, let's check out what he comes with real quick. Okay, so I'm going to get the obvious one out of the way. Here is the helmet. Yes. And even though he destroys this in the movie, and they don't really show it much, I think it's really nice that they included this. And it looks good. Yeah, nice detail on it. Good looking mold on it. Really nice. Like the eyes and the teeth. That looks really cool. So that's really nice. And they give you one pumpkin bomb here. It's the orange one, not a green one. But it looks good. It's got a little bit of detail on it. It's tiny. Tiny. I don't know if you can see it there in my giant hands. But it's got a little bit of texture on it. Yep, that looks good. And then they give you a flight stand for the glider. And it's like a multi-positional one. Depending on how you plug it in on one of the balls, you can get it on, have it sit on different heights, which is kind of nice. I like that. Pretty cool. And then we get to the glider. Yeah, the glider is cool. Looks good. It's got these foot pegs on it that are labeled underneath left and right. They come off, not assembled. You have to put these in. But they do swivel here at the feet. And like I said, they're labeled so you know which ones to put them on, left and right. Nice. It's kind of muted type paint, but it looks good. Which I think it's, it's supposed to be a little bit worn anyway, so that looks pretty good. Nice details there. It kind of ratchets a little bit. Just pops open about, really, I don't want to push it much further than that, about that far. But nice details. You can see the green inside in there. Yep, green inside the intake. Underneath, it's basically just one color. Has the missiles. These little pins down here that it's on, they're actually metal pins, so it's constructed well. It's nice. It has pistons, but the pistons are non-functional. But it looks good. Nice details. On the back here, it's got, little engine thrusters, little green for the thrusters. And it's a pretty nice looking glider. Nice details you can see on the top there. Yeah. Pretty decent looking, really. Yep, I like the sculpt on this. It's very nice. Decent looking. These in the movie are where he kept some of his pumpkin bombs. Those don't open, but, it's not a Hot Toys, so we can't expect much from that. But yeah, that's the glider. And I think this is a pretty nice looking figure. It's a little bit, to me, it looks a little bit strange even with the goggles on, but these goggles are removable, and so is this cowl. This comes off, and actually so is the purple cloth part here. This can come off too. So if you want to have all that off and then put this head on it, it would look more like the Raimi version of the suit. But yeah, pretty nice looking. A lot of details. There's a lot of greeblies on these. A lot of parts that he added on later after, his suit got kind of destroyed. And he rebuilt this. A lot of details on this. And then as a throwback to the comic nod to the comic version, it's got the goblin pumpkin bomb pouch, which is cool. And if you take this off, the strap goes all the way around on him. It's pretty nice, but it's kind of actually an overlay. It's kind of free floating, so when you do the articulation on him, it doesn't get in the way. The strap doesn't hinder the articulation. So pretty nice. Look at the details on the gauntlet here. It's got this little rocket missiles. Yep, and he's got the two blades here. These are very soft, kind of malleable. So you might have to bend these back a little bit to get them into shape. Mine weren't too bad out of the package. But then here's the back. Nice details on the suit. Yeah, looks pretty good. Like I said before, there's only a couple small complaints about this. One of them is, from what I understand, is that these down here at the ankles, they do have, we'll get into articulation, but down here at the ankles, it doesn't have a rotation. And when you're on top of the glider, I think for posing, it would have been kind of a little bit better. I guess the SH Figure Arts one does have the rotation, but that's a little issue about it. And then underneath this, his neck is exposed a little bit. It would have been nicer if they made the green suit go up a little bit higher, so when you put on this helmet, that it doesn't show his neck. But this one apparently does. But anyway, let's check it out real quick. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. Yeah, check out the cartridges on the side. Yeah, those are pretty nice. Under here. Yeah, it's painted nice. Paint looks pretty good on this copy. Yeah. So many greebly details on this. It's pretty interesting, really. And all the way to the back. The legs. Yeah. Pretty nice. Taking the hood off, now you can, here's Norman without his goggles on. And I think this is a pretty good looking face. Yeah. That looks just like Willem Dafoe. Wow, pretty good, crazy looking likeness. All the way down to his gap teeth. Check that out. They even got the gap right. I mean, that's a pretty good looking head sculpt. From what I've seen, this head sculpt looks way better than the SH Figure Arts, which is really bizarre because the SH Figure Arts set sells for about $150 or more. And their head sculpt is not that good, unfortunately, at least from what I've seen. And theirs also has a mustache, which is kind of weird looking. And here, no mustache. I mean, it looks like a younger Norman Osborn, but it definitely, you know who that is when you look at it. Yeah. And this is what I was talking to you about before, telling you about with the neck. See, the suit would be nice if the green part came up around the neck, like higher, where you really wouldn't see much of his neck. Now, the Figure Arts one is like that. The suit neck is as continuation of the suit. And I think that's really cool. This one, I mean, some people argue about this, that this head is kind of just like an added on thing that he really, in the movie, he destroyed his helmet. So, and the Figure Arts one does not come with this helmet, but this one does, which I think is really cool because I really, really, really like the helmeted look. So, but it leaves the neck a little bit exposed when you put this on. I think we can check that out real quick right now. Let's see if I can pop this off here. Yep. Pop on the helmeted look. If I can get it in there, it's pretty tight. Took me a minute, but I finally got it on there. That was a tight fit. But see, you can see what I'm talking about. You can kind of see his neck under there, which that's kind of a shame. I wish it didn't have that. But from certain angles, I mean, you really don't see it. If you're going to be like posing him up dynamically and maybe have his head like that, you really wouldn't see it too much from the front. And I mean, it's pretty nice looking. I like how this looks. I'm a big fan of the helmet. And here's what he looks like without the purple cloth thing over. And I think it looks good. A lot of details under there. Looks like some damage. Yeah, it's kind of like battle damage. It's nice. I mean, check that out on his chest. And this pouch part here with the strap, it's all like an overlay, so it's kind of free floating, pretty much. And you can adjust it, pull it down a little bit to get it to sit right on him, and it looks good. But yeah, see, I like how this looks. Like I said, the only thing that bugs me a little bit is the neck shows. I wish there was a different neck you could put on this to hide that. That would have been good. But, you know, it might be fixable somehow. You know, maybe if you paint it or something. But then, you know, it has rib texture on it. So, you know, the suit has a rib texture. So I don't know how you would simulate that. Might not be able to. I don't know. Maybe somebody makes a neck peg for this out there. But anyway, yeah, that's what that looks like. And here's what he looks like without the goggles on, with the cowl on. Yeah, he's kind of sinister looking. Especially if you put his head down and he's like got that maniacal grin. Yeah, that's pretty crazy looking. I dig it. It's pretty nice. Yep. So, well, I guess let's go over articulation on this guy real quick. So basically it's your basic Marvel Legends figure, but it does have a few improvements on it. Start down here at the legs. It's got thigh cut swivel. Legs go out to that far. Not bad. It does have a bit of a drop-down mechanism, which is kind of unusual for this, for Marvel Legends. Most of them do not have a drop-down figure. I mean, a drop-down mechanism for the legs. So that's kind of cool. This one has a little bit of a drop-down mechanism, which helps facilitate, you know, on the glider. It's got thigh-cut swivel. Yep, so that works pretty good. It's got double jointed knees down here. It's pretty nice. As I said before, the only thing that's kind of not so great about the feet is it doesn't have a pivot swivel. It does have articulation down here as far as like side-to-side rocker. This side is a little bit limited, but it does do it. There's no toe hinge. Goes up that far, down. Ooh, mine's really, really tight. Yeah, wow, almost nothing on that one. Wow. Not good. See, it would have been good if they gave us a little bit of, at least a swivel up here. Right up above the ankle. I think it needs it for a flying character. Yeah, definitely. Let's try this one down here. Okay. Nope. Boy, that's really tight. It does articulate side to side. See, that side goes a little bit better, which is good. It's going to need it. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It would have been nice if they gave us articulation right here above the ankle. But nah, boy, that's so tight. Almost nothing up. It's bottoming out right there. But, and then on this side, I notice with the leg, it's double jointed, but man, this is so tight. There it goes. It goes back about that far on that side. So double jointed arms. This one gets up about that far, like that. Yep. No butterfly joints, but it's got a ball socket in there. It swivels all the way around. So that's pretty good. And it kind of, I mean, it doesn't have an up and down mechanism on it, but it does kind of like almost simulate that. It goes up pretty high and then can go back about that far back. And it does have bicep swivel up here. Separate joint. Yep, right there. That's the bicep swivel. Yep. Horizontal hinged hands, so they go up and down, but then the wrists do turn. So, a little bit. Let's see. Excuse my hands. My hands kind of getting in the way here. Okay, so it turns a little bit, but they're horizontally hinged, like that. Yep, both sides. Yep. Up at the waist, it can crunch forward about that far. Back about that far. But this strap doesn't get in the way really. It doesn't hinder articulation because it's free floating. And then it's got some side to side, and it's got some twist down here. Yep. Now I heard some people complaining they think he's got kind of a dad bod. This one is a little bit thicker. It does seem a little bit thicker, but I wonder if it's made that way because this is his reconstructed suit that he's put all the greeblies on, you know, after it got kind of tore up. And it's a little bit different. So I'm wondering if that's why they gave him a thicker torso. But I don't know. Yeah, you can really see it. It is kind of thicker in the midsection a little bit. Yep. And over on this arm, it's about the same as far as articulation goes. I mean, it's single jointed. I mean, excuse me, double jointed. But this side to me only gets up. I feel like I'm pushing it right there. The left side doesn't quite go up as high as the right side. but it does have the bicep swivel, and it does have a swivel up here at the top. Yeah. Yep. So, I guess it is what it is. I mean, it's a Marvel Legends figure, so what do you expect? But it's still not bad. I mean, I think it's kind of weird that it has a little bit of a drop-down mechanism. Yeah, it's real tiny, but it does have a drop-down mechanism. So, yep. And let's see, forward, he can kick out pretty far, actually. It goes up pretty high. Back, not too much. Yep. So that's basically it. That's most of the articulation on him. His head is a little bit hindered with this on, but it does look down a bit. It does look up. It has some tilt. Yep. And it will rotate all the way around. So, yeah, that's the basic articulation. And so there he is on his glider. You'll have to forgive my opposing skills because I'm not that great at posing these kind of things. But, yeah, man, I think he looks pretty good. For what he is, for the price, these are about 45 or 50 bucks versus the $150 version. This one actually has a lot of really good things about it as compared to the more expensive one. The more expensive one has a shinier paint job. But as far as I can tell, this one has a better head sculpt. So I think that's cool. And it also gives you, the mask, which is, I actually really like this a lot. So, yep. So that's it for Norman. If you stuck around and watched this, I appreciate you checking it out. Thanks a lot for stopping by and watching it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, and we'll see you next time around.